Hi VC, it's Rob here with another video, and this video is a contest entry for Steve Carlson, who's reached 1,000 subscribers, so congratulations Steve, long overdue. I've been watching Steve's channel for probably about a year. I joined the VC, I think it was the beginning of February, and I kind of stumbled across the VC. I think I was just searching stuff about Paul Weller, and I sort of dropped into Ross Goodall's channel talking about, he was kind of ranking Paul Weller videos, and I kind of looked at the comments and I kind of discovered James Griffiths and John Downing, and then from there somehow I stumbled upon Steve Carlson, and it took me a while to actually understand what was going on. I went through his videos and I kind of worked out that he was doing a weekly program on the VC, and I didn't even know what the VC was. So I started to comment on Steve's channel, and then sort of, you know, I was thinking about, you know, joining the VC and making my own videos, because, you know, I'm a massive music fan. But I did need a little bit of encouragement, and Steve did that. You know, he encouraged me. You know, he said, you know, go for it. And, you know, I was thinking about it. But with Steve's encouragement, I decided to do my first video. And, you know, since then, you know, I've really enjoyed being part of the vinyl community, and, you know, comments with people who I've never met. I've actually met a couple of VC members now. I have met Ross Goodall and I've met Callum Rhodes. But Steve is a massive part of the reason why I'm in the vinyl community, and Steve's quite an influence on some of the music I've picked up over the last year. But I mean, Steve Carlson, he's not just someone who posts videos and waits for people to comment. You know, he actively promotes new channels. When I post a comment on someone's video, 9 times out of 10, Steve's already posted a comment encouraging new channels, and he's just a really sound member of the vinyl community. And as far as I'm aware, he's the only person who's kind of got his own slot on the VC. You know, Sunday mornings without Steve Carlson's videos just aren't Sunday mornings. You know, for us in the UK, his videos pop up about lunchtime, and he's just a major part of the VC. So, you know, this is a big loving for Steve to me, because, you know, I've said before, there's a lot of great channels on the VC, but Steve's a diamond, and by the amount of people who've posted videos already, you can see how popular he is. I mean, this music in the background, this time last year, there's no way that I would have bought this. I mean, it didn't cost me much. I think it cost me 25p, but it's cha-cha, you know. And Steve, the music he shows from, you know, extreme punk, the Cramps, you know, and he'll show, you know, cha-cha. He'll also show African music. I mean, the African music in my collection before I joined the VC was non-existent. You know, now I'm picking up African songs of yesterday and today, performed by 2 authentic witch doctors. You know, a year ago, there's absolutely no way I would have been picking up music like that. I mean, Steve's not the only channel who has an influence on me, but I just love Steve Carlson. So Steve, congratulations on reaching 1,000 subscribers. It's just so well deserved. Now, Steve's sort of drawing contest, whatever you want to call it, he wants us to show 5 go-to albums. So I've chosen 5. It's quite difficult to just choose 5, but I've chosen 5. These aren't necessarily my favourite albums of all time, but they are go-to albums. So the first one I'm going to choose is this one, and it's Prefab Sprout and Steve McQueen, and this is from, I think it's from '85. I've seen Prefab Sprout live in 1990. This album's produced by, oh, see my cats on the video. It's not only you, Steve, that has cats. Produced by Thomas Dolby, really nice production. every song on this album is an absolute worldie. From Farron Young, When Love Breaks Down, Moving the River. It's just a great album. I can remember getting into this album sort of in '85, and when it comes to football, soccer, I am a massive Oldham Athletic fan. Now, we're in the shadows of Manchester United and Manchester City and Liverpool and all those big clubs, but I used to follow Oldham home and away, and spent many a time on a coach travelling hundreds of miles to watch my team. And I used to have a Walkman, and I used to tape my favourite albums, and I can remember going up to Middlesbrough listening to this album probably for one of the first times, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's a special album, and if you're not aware of Steve McQueen by Prefab Sprout, I recommend you search it out and give it a listen. It's just a great album. Now, the second album I'm going to show, no surprise by this artist, and it's The Jam and Sound Effects. I could show any Jam album. My favourite band of the last 40 years. They never let you down, whatever mood you're in. There are ballads by The Jam, Ghosts and Monday, English Rose. But if I want to smash the kitchen up or do some aggressive hoovering, then I always put The Jam on. And every track on this album is fantastic, from That's Entertainment, which is one of my favourite songs of all time, to Scrape Away and Boy About Town, But I'm Different Now. The Jam are a go-to artist for me, and this is a go-to album. So yeah, Sound Effects by The Jam. Now, number 3 in my list is this album, and it's A Teardrop Explodes and Wilder. So this album's from 1981, and this is my battered copy of it. I just love this album. Can I explain why? It's just certain albums you're in love with, and do we bond with music like we used to do? When you're collecting so much music, buying so many records, is it possible to bond with music like you used to? I'm quite fortunate. My job, I'm a test engineer, and a lot of the time when I'm testing systems, I can have music on. And so when I'm buying new albums and trying to get into new artists, I can listen to them at work. So I can listen to the new Moon Duo album, 5 or 6 times while I'm in work. So that's the way that I sort of bond with music. But when I was like 15, 16, in my early 20s, the way I bonded with music was closing the bedroom door and closing my eyes and just listening to an album over and over again. And that's what I did with this album. It's an absolute gem. Tiny Children, Great Dominions, Passionate Friend, all the deep cuts on this album. If you haven't got this album and you're interested in it, it will never let you down. It's a great album. Julian Cope, of course, is the singer with The Teardrop Explodes, and this is a go-to album for me. So yeah, Wilder by The Teardrop Explodes. Now, here's my next album, and it's Rattlesnakes by Lloyd Cole and The Commotions. A lot of these albums, as you can tell, are sort of early 80s albums. Saw Lloyd Cole and The Commotions in '84, and like the Prefab Sprout album, this album will always be a part of my life. I love every single track on it. I'm not one of these people who's shouting from the rooftop saying Lloyd Cole's the most talented musician of all time. I just think this album is special, and I can remember the first time I put it on and I'm thinking, when are we going to have a bad track? Because we got Perfect Skin and Rattlesnakes and 2CV and Are You Ready to Be Heartbroken? 4 Flights Up, Patience, just an amazing album by, at that time in '84, this was the right place, the right time for me. I was just ready and waiting for this album, and when I found it, I fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with it now. So yeah, Rattlesnakes by Lloyd Cole and The Commotions. And finally, this album, and it's English Settlement by XTC. So it's quite difficult for me to choose an XTC album. From Drums and Wires, Black Sea, Murmur, Oranges and Lemons, the Skylarking. You know, you can choose 4 or 5 what I would class as classic XTC albums. This one's a little bit different, it's a little bit folkier. I can remember when I first played it, I wasn't 100% sold on it, but it didn't take me long to fall in love with this album as well. Ball and Chain, Senses Working Overtime, you know, is there a catchier pop song? I'm not sure. This is a double album, so you know, you get double the fun. And yeah, English Settlement is probably, well, it is my favourite XTC album. So yeah, XTC and English Settlement. So they're my 5. And just as a quick bonus, the Parcels album. So this is an album that came out late last year. This is kind of the newest album that I'm kind of hooked on. I picked it up at the start of the year. Sort of modern disco, I'd call it. And this is a great album. I just play it so much. I am a lover of sort of dance music, disco music. These are an Australian band. If you've never checked the Parcels out, this is a sneaky one under the radar. But yeah, the Parcels album, if you want to listen to some sort of modern disco music, check that one out. So there's my 5 with a sneaky one at the end, and at the start a couple of influenced albums from Steve Carlson. So once again, Steve, congratulations. Keep up what you're doing on your channel, because for me, you are the best, and I enjoy all your output. So once again, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.